Go ahead and state your name and tell me your ride. What are we looking at?
Okay, my name is John McDermott, and this is a car my dad built in 1950. It was very unique, and it was worked on by some famous people. George Barris, who is built cars for Hollywood, built the Batmobile, the Munsters car. The George Barris likely painted this car himself, but I know his shop did it. So my dad grew up in L.A., the Linwood, Southgate area, and he drove Lakesters on El Mirage Dry Lake. That's he had a belly tank car.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. I know that.
Okay, so he raced belly tank on El Mirage Dry Lake.
Trying to get them as fast as possible, right?
Right. Oh, yeah. And he has trophies that the engine that used to be in this took his belly tank to 151 miles an hour, which was pretty good back in 1947.
Yeah.
So I have his trophies at home from 1947, and so when he was done with his Lakester, he built a hot rod, and like you say, he had some famous people work on it. It has a Gaylord interior, and this interior is 72 years old.
Wow!
And it's all this car is all original, except the engine isn't, because so in 1954, Woody Brogner from Pennsylvania, he would come out to California because this was the hot rod scene. And he had a speed shop in Pennsylvania. And he would come here, get ideas, and get parts and things. Well, he must have struck a deal with my dad. So he bought the car. Prior to that, in 1953, Hot Rod Magazine did a feature article on the car.
That's amazing.
So that's my dad.
I'll make sure to get that on camera for sure. That's awesome.
So that's my dad. They did a feature article on it, and that was probably one reason why the car was very popular. It was very unique. It has an Auburn dashboard, which is very unique, and a lot of custom body work has been done by the Barris Customs. If you can look all this stuff up on if you Google Jack McDermott's 29 Roadster, it comes right up. Not a problem finding this car.
Yeah, that magazine's right there.
That's my dad at the Carousel restaurant in L.A. So that was real popular back then. So anyway, so Hot Rod Magazine did a feature on it. Woody took it, flat-towed it back to Pennsylvania, and then he did some things with it. He took my dad had a flathead Mercury engine in it. He took that out, put a short block Chevy in it, kind of played with it for a few years, and then it sat in a basement of his speed shop. And then, Bill Ruffner, who was probably just a kid at the time, he really admired the car, and he says, someday I'd like to have that car. Well, the car went up for auction. Will Ruffner acquired it, won the auction, got the car. The car needed some. It was minus the firewall and minus the engine, and so he said he wanted to restore it to the cover of Hot Rod Magazine. He wanted that car, so he had a flathead motor in his garage. So he put a flathead motor and he replaced the firewall. He put the car back together, and that was in 2005 that he did all this work. And then he drove it for about 20 years and took it to car shows and developed all this signage about the history of the car. And then my son.
I was going to say, how did you end up getting it back?
Okay, yeah. Well, here's that story. My son, who's 30 years old, he was on Facebook Marketplace, and he sends me this message. He says, hey, is this Grandpa's car? And I looked at it, and then, of course, I matched the license plate with the license plate that was on Hot Rod magazine.
Oh my God, that's the same one.
And so I said, oh my gosh, it's Grandpa's car. So we called the guy, and I made 2 trips to Pennsylvania because I live in Marietta.
Wow. Yeah.
My sister met me there. We saw the car. We rubbed our hands on it. Wow, this is great. Then the guy made me we cut a deal, and I had it transported. I flew to Pennsylvania a second time. We made the deal, and then I had it transported here to Marietta. So that's where we're at, and now I'm hoping to just
it's a family heirloom.
Yes,
It's something that has such a great history.
Absolutely.
70 plus years, and you able to find it, track it down, and bring it back. That truly is a unique and amazing story, and I hope that for any youngsters, anyone listening to my stuff, it's kind of like, I really hope that as cars continue to become an appliance and things that you drive for 5 years and you get rid of, or that I hope that we preserve some of these great unique opportunities and things that we can actually hold on to and keep for another 70 years.
Sure.
Yeah.
This is more than a car with chipped paint. It's got that fantastic story behind it. It was all meant to be in my mind.
Oh, absolutely. I think that the chances are odds. There has to be some great mysterious force in the background or something going on, but I'm so glad you got it. I'm so glad you found it back. I'm so glad this has been a part of your family and your history. I'll definitely get my camera and walk around with it, but where do you go from here? You don't want to get rid of some of the original stuff from it, but how do you continue to preserve and take care of this
just
for your son?
Change the oil.
Yeah.
Change the oil, and I have no interest in painting it because the paint job is part of the history.
Yeah.
So just car shows. We're just excited. My wife's excited to maybe go, and she's always wanted a classic car to drive around, and so that's what we're going to do for a few years, and then we'll see where it goes from there.
I really appreciate you talking to me. I'm going to get my camera, definitely take a look at this, but definitely flip to the right pages, and I'll be happy to look at. Thank you again.